Look, I have like crazy ADHD, so this is gonna be long and it's gonna be very, very all over the place. So be ready for this video. Hello, this is devlog number 1 of Fluff and Fury. I've been working on the game for a long time. I've been very tired these days. We are prepping for Kickstarter and damn, it's a lot of work, man. Yeah, you gotta make all the art stuff, all the graphic design. There's the whole Kickstarter page. So I've been going everywhere trying to get this working. So mostly we're doing like posts and stuff on social media. So I've been working a lot on that, pretty much. That's my main work right now. I've been working on this game for like the last at least 6-7 months. So I did this game, it was just like a 3-page version of the game. It was kind of like a proof of concept almost, so I could like show to people and be like, hey, this is my game, you wanna play? Because when you say to people like, oh, I have a game, you know, even with my friends, I was like, oh, I have this game idea, do you want a PDF of the game? I'm like, this is not gonna work. So like I print this, I did like 100 copies. And like I started giving to people, to conventions. I took to PAX and I had a sign and I just gave to people for free, so people could start kind of like just seeing the game, I guess, just talking about it and like giving me feedback too. That was nice. I don't know, then people started asking me about mechanics, and I think that was really nice because we playtest a lot with like my friends of friends and things like that, like a network. There is still a lot of people around that I've been trying to play with and showing the game, especially on the game mechanics. Like in the beginning was so convoluted, like there was a lot of like it's just like, because I wanted to make a game very simple, so I didn't really want it to have any AC, any D&D stuff, you know, like have to roll to hit or something like that. Like that's just adds so much to the game that like I didn't want to care about it. But I still wanted combat, like I want to do an action game, you know, but I wanted to do an action game that the resolution was not like, oh, did you like do or didn't do your action? If you would play like Powered by the Apocalypse or something like that, it was like you roll like is a success, a partial success, or a failure, and that's kind of like you inflict damage or not, so something like that. I didn't really want to do that. I wanted to have combat, but I also didn't want to use grids or anything like that, so I didn't want to like people having to figure out their position, because I wanted to be fast-paced and shooting. So I set it up on like dice manipulation. That was something that I think is always fun, to have something to do and feel that like somehow the word and you are kind of like in some sort of unison. So you're manipulating dice, and it's like the machine gun, you keep rolling your dice, so that means that you keep shooting your machine gun. So there is some sort of like correlation on what you're doing like physically and what is happening in the game, and I thought that was good for new players to kind of feel that, oh damn, like, oh, I get it, like machine gun, I have 6 rerolls because I keep shooting my machine gun. And like the machine gun was not even that in the beginning. There was some other like mechanic there, I don't even remember, maybe on this version is even like that. Then we got to like rerolls, because also the base damage was really bad in the beginning. Like I remember we did a session, man, nobody could kill anybody, because hits are on 6 on the game, so whenever you hit someone, if you roll a 6, that's a damage. It was like nobody could kill anybody because it took so long to like hit, because they're all robots, right? They're all teddy bears who like basically, let me tell the premise of the game and we come back to this. So basically, the world is destroyed, the future is a cyberpunk vibe. The human body cannot live anymore in their own skin. So basically like it's too hot, there is acid rain everywhere, there is a bunch of stuff happening. So people had to transport their conscious to little teddy bears. So the vibe is like, there is this company called Zine Labs, and they developed this kind of like, they basically extract your brain juice and they mix with this quantum-like gel computer and they put it on a tube. So pretty much you are that. You are this tube. This tube is called Neurocore. So you put your brain inside this Neurocore and it's like a black box. It can resist anything. A nuclear explosion, it will be fine. So you get this core and you put it inside a teddy bear. Like you can put in anything, like the rich people have synths, who is like this humanoid bodies who look like skin and stuff like that, so they look like humans, but people who didn't have money had to like upload their conscience to like teddy bears. They were like this AI, kind of like an Alexa or like a Google whatever, I don't even know the name, but with a body, right? So they were like your assistant, they were everywhere, they were like opening doors in hotels, they're like, please sir, come in. And like they had this basic AI and they operate in the world, but when like this fall came, like that nobody could live anymore in their bodies, everybody became a teddy bear. Basically, like be inside a bear, you need to take this tube, which is like a small cylinder with your brain and quantum computer, and put inside the teddy bear, you lock it, and now you can operate the teddy bear. If you're not inside the teddy bear, you're pretty much like dormant. Is like maybe 20-30 years pass and someone puts you in a new teddy bear and turns you on and you're like, what the fuck just happened? So the word is chaos, because like if your teddy bear blows up, like if you hit 0 hit points, you basically lose your body and your conscience is lost. So that was another very important thing of the game that I wanted to like friendship be like a central thing, you know, like in this, like it's a very cyberpunk too, like your crew, your people is like who like keeps you alive, you know, like that's kind of like the theme of cyberpunk. I really wanted to make this be like real, you know, like it's like, oh man, if my brain is gone or whatever, I'm done. If I blow up and nobody picks up my Neurocore, that's it for me. Like no friends can pick your conscious anymore. And it's kind of fun because you can always like bring a new character. If you find a new body, someone can like just plug the conscious on the other person and they're back. So there is like fun ways of making it not be so, you know, like, oh, you are dead and now we need to revive you, whatever, on a D&D session, and you need to get a crystal and like bring, it's like, man, just grab the person's brain, run away, and maybe we can bring them back later. So I think that's another like one point of the game. But anyways, everything was very messy, and like, because basically a 6 is a hit because people have armor, right? That's what I was trying to get you. The robots have this crazy armor that they need to protect themselves from bullets, but like it doesn't make sense to like do a lot of damage on someone or something, and also doesn't make sense that like that you need to roll to hit, because it's like, man, you are like a teddy bear, you are an AI pretty much, you have like this like body that can help you do things that you couldn't do normally. So it doesn't make sense to like, oh, what is your AC or what's your armor? Like there is armor, but like you just roll your dice, and that's pretty much like. And also I didn't want it to be like, because that's always weird with like combat, like I don't know, I played a lot of Alien and it's like, oh, you shoot your gun and like that's your action, you know, you like bang, and like 10 people go around and it comes back to you and you're like, I bang again. And it's like, what, how? Like, you know, like you would be just shooting your gun non-stop while all this is happening. So guns never work to me on RPGs, because that's kind of like the vibe too of like, well, a lot of games that have like weapons and stuff, like it feels really weird that like people shoot, then I shoot, then you shoot, then that guy shoots. Kind of happens simultaneously, I guess, but not really. So like with this was kind of this vibe of like being a bunch of bullets, almost like each D6 is a bullet, and it might hit or it might not hit. So, and these hits are like hitting like some part of armor that it didn't really ding that much, and a 6 is like it really hit and you got that guy. And nobody has like a big pool of HP too, like the max is 24, that's the cap. It's always good that it's always a bit dangerous to be out there, because everybody's deadly, that's kind of the idea. Everybody like fucking can kill you, you know? So I think that's kind of the vibe. So yeah, and in the beginning, only 6s would do things, but there was not that much like influence on the dice to make it, because it's really hard to roll a 6. It's a 1 in 6 chance, I know, but you add a bunch of dice and like they would do like the average damage was like 1. We had one boss fight because I made a boss who is like this Bergamota, who is like a bow, and he like runs into people and kind of like impale them, and now you need to like, you cannot run away from him because you impale with a robot body and you need to shoot him in the head, but he has like this super chrome head. So that was kind of the idea. Then it was really hard. People like, just like, people loved the game, and like the feedback was like, man, combat is just too long. And I was like, okay, my math is wrong. So I went back and I got the math right, and now like damage is an average of like 4 damage you do per attack. So it's a pretty good damage because everybody has like I say, max 24, and like minimum is like 6 health. So like if you wanna like just fight like one scrappy bear anywhere, it probably will take you 2 rounds to get it down. But if you wanna fight like, I don't know, a really like badass bear, will take you a couple of rounds, like 5 or 6, to like take it down. So it really brought the speed of the battle like much lower and much faster, which was really good because I didn't want people to have like so much time on like just shooting each other. Like but I wanted to be epic, and I think now it is like that. Like we just had a game 2 days ago, and that was really good because combat was really nice. Like it lasts for like 3 rounds, I think, or 4 rounds combat, and the boss was like crazy deadly. He had this crazy katanas. He was like a tuna with katanas, like these deadly double attacks that could like kind of like glitch the bears. So everybody was very scared of fighting him, and it was good because like they managed to like pretty much bring him. He had really low health too. He had 20 HP, but it was still like a very dangerous fight because he had armor, and armor basically negates some damage. But even with 20 HP, you really felt like the craziest boss that you can try to fight. Like they were like running after him, and one of the guys basically like blew up everything and itself to get this boss down because he knew that like he couldn't do it. They couldn't like just go and fight this guy like without strategy. That's like another point of the game too. Like I don't want people to just go like, oh, this big boss, let's just punch it until he goes down, you know? Kind of like, oh, let's fight this dragon, let's just go all with our swords and go, you know, like it's not gonna happen. Like, so bosses need to be this kind of constant danger in the world. And now we finally got to like a decent number on weapons and damage, and I think that took a long time to get, but now it feels super smooth. Like it goes very fast, combat is fast and deadly, and encourages people to not just shoot non-stop. Like on this adventure, like people were like trying to block an elevator, that there was like other fish people coming to attack them, and like another guy was trying to like blow up the score, so everything went off. Someone was trying to hack something, and 2 people were fighting the boss. So it's like they needed to move around because just fighting was not like a ideal option. Like maybe if they were very lucky they could get the boss, but it was not gonna happen unless they really like had a good strategy or come up with a good solution. And I think the game also allows that too. Like now the game has a special move, so each bear, each class has like one crazy special move that is pretty much great game breaking, but I love things that break the game. I think that's really fun because it allows players to feel really special in that moment, and also makes the GM sweat a little bit, which I think is actually nice. Usually as a GM you have like a lot of like control of what's happening and you have this, but when the game itself has game breaking shit happening, usually makes the GM has to think on their toes a lot. So every character has special move. For instance, when we were playtesting once, the hacker, basically your special move is you can control another bear who is not a boss. You cannot use special abilities in boss, but you can control a bear for 10 minutes. stealth one, the Phantom, can go invisible for 10 minutes. Like each of them have a special ability that they can do. And like our hacker just basically like hack into one bear who was like kind of like the manager of this nightclub. And then as the manager managed to go to all these places and open a bunch of locations and end up getting this boss killed by another guy who started to like be like, who the hell, what happened to you? I don't know, but I need to take you down. And yeah, it was really interesting to have like a bear being control. And it was like, I had a lot of plans for that map, and it was like open like in like one swoop. It was like open everything. Now you guys kind of know the map, and I'm like, damn, I need to figure out what to do now. So I think that's really fun too, and make the players like just break the game a little bit, which is kind of fun. Like, oh, you had a plan? Screw you. I'm like opening the whole map, or I'm going invisible and getting like to the goal right now and passing all the security that you had planned. So yeah, I think those things are fun. Like even like the tank, one of the classes, you can like just punch a bear dead like once per day. All these abilities are once per day, so once per day you can just punch a bear and it's done. No bosses, but sometimes there is like a very like dangerous guy who's coming and like, and I don't know, the GM has planned to be this like NPC who's gonna be like a villain and is gonna go up or whatever, and you're like, you know what, I punched this guy, I don't need to roll, this guy's gone, let's move on. I think those things are really fun, and that's something that I really wanted to have in the game. So yeah, oh yeah, let me show something now that I'm back. This is some of the art for Fluff and Fury. Oh, this is actually Aspire DM, but I pasted that on my, oh, it's kind of, hey, there you go. So I pasted those guys, so that's my GM screen when I'm doing playtesting. So yeah, that's an amazing art from Gabriel. He's been working with me on the game. We worked together. I used to work on a publishing house in Brazil for comic books, and we met there, and now we are working together, which is really exciting. There's more people in the crew too. There is Lee. Lee's our editor and our media manager, videographer. She set up this shot. And Dani Gutz. He's doing a lot of like illustrations too. Some other bears are gonna come. He's doing a lot of the villains. So like that one, the bow that I say, there will be a villain who is like a piranha. So the game also happens in São Paulo in the future. It happens in Brazil. The game is based on the city of São Paulo that I grew up on. And North America is gone. Basically, the scrap is gone now, kind of like, basically like New York in the East Coast. People would just bought too much stuff, and at some point there was nowhere for the trash to go because there was no more boats and stuff taking trash to the third world. So basically it just started piling and people couldn't stop buying. So it's just like a big scrapyard that people live on. It's kind of like a wasteland kind of vibe. But that's the map. There is so many factions. There's 12 factions. There's 6 gangs and 6 corporations, but they kind of work the same way. They operate very similarly. I think that's good for a first video. I'm gonna do more, because actually I thought I was gonna suffer more doing this, but it was kind of fun. Thank you very much for watching this video. Yeah, you can check the game. It's on pre-launch on Kickstarter right now. It's gonna come on Kickstarter on February 1st. I'm putting out the love on this project. It's been like a journey, and I really love the results. So I hope you get a copy and you can play and we can talk about it. Thank you for watching this, and this is Gabriel from the Fluffnet. All right, take care.